this makes your weekender even more usable. This is great. Like, this is very, very comfortable, and I think this is the best seat in the house. Batch, boat. Batch or boat? For those of you who don't know what a batch is, it's a bachelor pad or a beach house, as many of us would probably recognise that. I'm using that terminology because I'm here in New Zealand, and that's a pretty popular option for a lot of people to enjoy their leisure time. And in this video, we're going to talk about the Princess V40 and whether you should get one of these or you should get a batch. Or if you're lucky enough, go ahead and get both. But this is a style of boat that many people would consider to add to their lifestyle to use as a weekender. And so for those of you who haven't been introduced to the Princess lifestyle, this is the introductory model. That's really not the right word to use, because this is, you're kind of reaching the pinnacle of success if you can afford something like this. But this is a boat that will cater to you and your family, or you and your partner, and keep you comfortable and keep you looking sexy and having a good time for the weekend. So my name's Dan Jones. This is Dan's Boat Life. Welcome to the walkthrough. There is a test drive on this boat. We've just done it. So if you're interested in how this boat performs, follow the link that's coming up in the screen now, or it'll be in the video description, or both. But yeah, walkthrough starting right now. I might go to the back of the boat and focus on something that's pretty cool that you don't see on boats of this size. I'm here with Mitch from Sports Marine. They're the dealers here in New Zealand, and they've also got an office in Sydney. Williams jet tender on a 40-foot boat. That's pretty cool. So this is actually, it's got a custom deployment system. That's not a Princess feature. That was added by the dealers. But you know, a lot of people would be concerned, including myself, to be fair, about the weight distribution of a considerable, fast, capable tender like this. Because you normally see these in their own tender garages on much larger boats. I've just been for a drive. It goes good. And I'm going to put that down to the fact that we don't have the optional extended SWIP platform, which would be the drop-down platform, which you can have on this boat. We have the standard platform, and we've got the deployment system. So the weight is still in and not really negatively affecting the boat. We got 32 knots top speed. We're cruising around at 27 knots. And this makes your weekender even more usable, because you can come into a place like this and go and land on the beach, or go to the shops, or go to the beach party that you had planned with some other boats, and it's all doable. You can stay comfortable and enjoy yourself. So that's cool. You don't have to have a Williams jet tender. You can do something a lot more conservative than this. But that's just a really nice option to see that it's possible. So anyway, walking my way through the back of the boat, down here on the port side, we've got the shore power connection just here. You've got some, as you enter the boat, or step on the transom, I should say, you've got a teak transom platform, and you can go up either side. But this design lends itself to entering the boat on the starboard side and going up the side decks, or the port side decks on the port side. So you have a grab handle just here, a stainless steel cleat here, and then you've got your side decks which carry on. But just focusing on the middle of the boat here, this particular layout, and there's another option which we'll get to in a sec, if you've got large storage bins just here, which is perfect for fins and boards, and all sorts of water toys are going to go quite happily down there. Gives you a lovely place to put the name of the boat on, as we see on this one. We have a flagpole holder and a nicely shaped stainless steel grab handle, which this area, classic. Like, hello ducks, you're very noisy. Do you know we're doing a YouTube video? You're coming up on the microphone. Sorry about that. The locals here in New Zealand are very vocal. Their seagulls actually are a lot bigger and noisier than our Aussie ones. So, back to what I was focusing on. Leaning back here and enjoying this is really good with this design, but there is another option. You can actually option this boat to have another sun lounge, which extends out to about here, like this distance here, and there is a backrest in the middle, but it will move. So you know how like on the Euro sun lounges, they all face aft, that the backrest can go forward, so it's in this position, so all the girls can then lie down and face the back of the boat, or it can go like this and rest in the middle, and so you have this seating still can be erected like this for lunch, and you can have a smaller aft-facing seat or lounge as well. So that's cool and a sensible use of space on what is still, you know, essentially just a 40-foot boat. Not just, it is a 40-foot boat. Now, as I enter, I've got a hot and cold shower, courtesy light, and one step. This has got the teak decks on the back of the boat. You can also option them up on the bow. Not many people in this part of the world are going to do that because of our UV. It makes a lot of sense to have teak in this area because it's lovely, gives you good grip underfoot, that sort of thing. But, you know, you rarely see it up on the bow in Australia and New Zealand. Cleat, kid and doggy door, nice Princess logo. It's all very fancy. Now, behind here, we've got some more. So that looks like the diesel cutoff. That's a Fireboy system. That's a manual bilge. That looks like a selector, so you can select forward and aft, I assume. And that's an operation for the davit system just there. That's all neatly hidden behind the door. I can proceed forward on the starboard decks up through these two steps just here, if I wish, or go this way and enter the cockpit. And, yeah, impressive, sexy, sports boat kind of vibe is what you get. This is what it's all about, sitting back here on a good-looking boat and enjoying the company of your friends. So you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus people. If you had a 1 or 2 directors' chairs, maybe 8 people, you know, all sitting around enjoying yourselves for drinks. Sitting down for a meal, probably more like 4. But this will drop down. It's a manually drop down on the 2 legs, and I assume there's a cushion that goes over that to create a big, large sunbed. And that's going to be a great spot for sitting and enjoying the view and being out of the wind. So that's pretty cool. Engine access below me. Stay till later in the video. We are going to go through the engine bay. Now, here on the starboard side, this is, you know, your classic mini bar setup with facilities. So, got your stainless steel sink there. This is your Kenyan electric, I'd say that's electric Barbie. I do wish these manufacturers would make bigger Barbies for us. We love our barbecuing down here, and that size plate, yes, it's doable, but I'd love something a little bit bigger. But anyway, that's just me. Decent size fridge here, so you could put stand-up bottles, and you could actually stack a few drinks and still have stand-up bottles in there. And the lid's pretty thick, so the insulation's probably good on that. Decent amount of storage, and a little bin with some more storage behind the bin, so you could put some rubbish after the bags are full behind there. Underneath this seat, and this seat got quite large storage bins, and would be a sensible place for all those extra life jackets that you just need to put somewhere. I'd probably stow them there, and then maybe have some more boat cleaning gear, you know, maybe some lines that you're not always using, that sort of stuff underneath here, because the lines that you're going to want to use regularly throughout the day might go well in this back locker back here, which I already had a look at. Now, Mitch, why don't you go there and then look back here so everyone can appreciate this. Another observation, 1, 2, 3 downlights. So we can have illumination here and here when we're barbecuing and eating of an evening. So that's important. Some builders forget to do that, and that's kind of annoying when you're trying to eat at night time. So this is a great spot to store some more lines or a tool bag or that sort of thing, but also I'd throw a safety grab bag in there. I love, not love, I just always carry a basic safety grab bag with me. So when the cops pull you over for a safety check, sometimes you get those guys who just want to prove their existence and want to waste your time checking everything on board the boat. So if you just have it all organised neatly in a grab bag, if they pull you over, you pull it out and go, yeah, mate, and start prompting him to all his questions. You're not going to waste your time by him wanting to jump on board and check everything on board. So I think I've covered everything there. Speaker. And what's this? Oh, that's another downlight. Okay, different style of downlight. Oh, okay. So that follows the line here. That's a bit of a moody downlight, and that's a downy downlight. So coming up here to the port side, this is great. Like, this is very, very comfortable, and I think this is the best seat in the house because I've got epic views all the way around. I've got protection from the chilly Kiwi breeze, I got to say. It's a little bit chilly today. And awesome communication with all your mates. So you would quite happily drive like at speed as a passenger. This would be a really comfortable spot. The boat, it is a nice V-shaped hull, so it rides well in a bit of choppy water. We just experienced that, albeit on the inshore conditions here in the bay. But going through a few waves, she's good. Now, this, just lends itself to lounging around and reading books and enjoying yourself for long summer's days. So I like that. Couple of people will be happy there. We've got the opening sunroof just here, and concertina's back to this spot just here. So when it's open, all of this is accessible to the sun or to the air. And yes, you can open it just in a section if you need to just get some airflow through and you want to still have protection from the sun. So moving to the helm, now you step down and then step up again. So just be aware of that. It's not all flat decks. You have flat deck there, one small step up, and then step up on either side. That'll make more sense when we get downstairs and show you the interior. But come over here, so come in a bit closer and try and capture all this, Mitch, so you can appreciate the design of this helm. The seats are quite good looking. They feel good. You feel nestled in at the helm. Like you got a little bit of lower back support and your bum sort of feels locked in, and you can hook this boat in through some tight turns, so at times it will actually have a practical use. Transitioning to standing, you might need to put your hand just there before you do the flip-up bolster because it wants to raise the seat cushion a little bit, but that's not the end of the world. A lot of boats do that. And the helm's sexy, it's functional, and it feels a little bit race car-ish. The throttle is set back and the wheel is adjustable. I note that the Princess logo always stays vertical. Nice touch. But just working around from starboard to port, I got my Raymarine VHF. I have a Fusion control just here. There's another one on the roof as we came through at the back of the boat, which I forgot to point out. Bennett trim tabs just aft of the throttle. The throttle is the digital throttle by Volvo just here. Then I'm on the starboard side of the wheel. I've got one engine diagnostics. I've got my digital start, ignition, start, stop for the motors. My Fireboy system. I've got my spotlight just here. Emergency start. Individual windscreen wipers, buttons and wash. And my anchor operation on starboard. 12-volt charger as well. And one of my drive gauges for the angle of the stern drive. On the port side of the steering wheel, I've got my port diagnostics, my port engine stern drive gauge. Side power bow thruster, just a regular thruster. Horn, bilge, lights, navigation lights, anchor lights, down lights, forward lights, and sunroof operation. One drink holder here, which would be good for a coffee cup and a beer, and another drink holder here, same size, and facility for a decent size Raymarine display. Obviously, I'm sure you can get other brands if you wish, but that looks like a touch with the buttons on the side. You've got this handy little area forward of the wheel, which would also function well for throwing phones because they're going to sit up well, and I note that it's got a drain in either side, so if it did rain, your phones are not going to get drowned and ruined. I got a road counter just here. They've mounted a Ray Marine. This looks like a bidata just for speed and depth. And then another little gauge or dash area up forward, which has rudder angle indicator. Very handy when trying to park a stern drive boat. That'll be clear later. I might try and film something separately to explain that. I got both engine analog displays, so whilst we can get the revs on our digitals, we can get a lot of other things on our digital display like coolant temperature, etc. Here you always have an analog readout of each engine. I've got our engine hours, and we have our fuel tank displays in analog on either side. I like that. I don't like having to go into a menu of a computer somewhere and find my fuel somewhere else. I like to have it always readily available, and the revs as well. I like to be able to drive and see what's happening straight away without having to go into another menu somewhere. Plastimo compass here. That's for charts, which nobody uses anymore, but it would still be handy from time to time. And the dash itself, you've got this darker colour here, which is going to knock down any immediate glare. You've got a white finish forward of that. You might get some glare off that on a really, really sunny day. I can't exactly tell today because it's not super sunny. And then we've got this tinted finish. We're going to go downstairs in a second, but I think it's time to check out the bow first. A couple more another courtesy light here and another one there. I think that's everything. So come with me. Let's go and check out the bow. We're going to go up the starboard side. So this boat's been fitted with clears and covers at the back like you would expect. But as we come forward, we can see the radar mast. It's got the spotlight mounted just there, the navigation, VHF and air horn. And you can see that the contours of the cabin as well. These boats are just, I think one of the things that has stood this brand so well, the reason why they've stood the test of time is their design, like their looks. They've always been really, really gorgeous boats, these V-Series Princesses, and even the older ones today still look great, and they still have quite a lot of presence. You know how some boats date? I don't have that feeling about the V-Series boats. They've never dated to me. They've always been quite an impressive thing. So anyway, sun lounge, let's just have a look. I'm not sure if that pops up. Okay, no, that's stuck down there. But in terms of space, yep, awesome. Plenty big. You're going to be happy with that. 1, 2, 3, 4 drink holders, 2 windscreen wipers with the wash function, as you can see. And then we got 1 fixed window here and 1 aft opening hatch just here. So that's an emergency hatch opening aft. 2 fixed cleats, and then our anchor locker. Ooh, it's getting a bit cold now. Okay, you got fender storage down here. That's kind of sensible. That looks like 50 meters of Gal chain on the Lumar windlass just there. Got us a little safety as well. And I see just here, this little thing here is so you can tie your fender rope. So when you put them down, they don't disappear from reach for people with short arms and legs like me. So you can operate the anchor from here, just there, and it's a single bow roller. Obviously you do that for the looks as well on this size of boat. And yeah, you can do this. Yep, this still works. So like doing an evening or a sunset hangout zone with your friends, this is great. Middle of the day, it might get a little bit hot, but you do you. That's all very nice. Let's go downstairs and have a look at the cabin. Got my booties on, so come on down, guys, and let's go straight to the master cabin and have a look in here. So this is where you really need to consider the beach house, the batch, or the boat, because when you see what's possible in 40 feet and the number of people you can accommodate, you really need to do some thinking. So come on up here and have a look at the master cabin. Here we have a island, queen size island berth where 2 people could sit up in bed. We've got a window which opens up above us. We have an opening port light on port and starboard as well, and it's got a really nice feel. You know, you've got this textured. This is a leather, more of a leather finish up here, textured there, and then a timber finish on either side. But each one has got some storage, so a good place for t-shirts and shorts. But on the starboard side, we've got a little vanity storage type area there, so that's like a good place for knickknacks, makeup, sort of ladies bits and pieces. So that's cool just there. And then I think we'll start making our way into the saloon, but the first thing I want to just comment on is your head access. So you've got a door just here which gives you private access into the head just there, but we'll come back to that and just get straight into the saloon. So you know, if the weather changes and you're not doing your alfresco dining, you want an option to come down and still feel like you're connected with the water. And having a decent size kitchen saloon vibe down here, as this boat does, but then combining it with this epic hull window, who needs television when you've got this? Like, this is what boating is about, and I think Princess have really achieved that with this space down here. I remember in sports cruises in years gone by, you would come down and you didn't really feel so much of a connection with the ocean. So with that fixed window up there, with the window on the galley and this one just here, you feel great, and you'll be enjoying yourself. You know, I can see the ducks swimming around right now. It's pretty awesome. So I've got this table here. This will facilitate a similar number of cutlery settings as the one up there. So you can move the party down here, or you can separate it. So if you've got kids and you know they want to be up there or down here, and the adults vice versa for some separation, that's doable. We've got some storage underneath these seats here. We've got another one of these blinds that we saw in the master cabin, which will do the same thing, and an opening porthole just here. We see some storage just up here. That's not a bad place for, you know, even some food. If you're going away for an extended period, that's a good place to put that sort of thing. This will drop down, and then there is a big cushion that slots straight over the top to create a ginormous bed down here as well. So that's handy. Now, Mitch, why don't you just come over here a little bit? I just want to point out a couple of things here. This is quite nice. That's lovely. Well positioned as well. Oh, it really is glass. Fancy. That's very fancy. So that's cool. The day head access is through this door. So we had a private door for the master cabin, but for day head access, here we go. So I'm just going to go in and show you. You immediately come into, it feels like Turkish bath vibes, because you've got these tiles on the floor, white tiles, and then like a marble finish underneath the porcelain sink. I guess that's what that is. But it feels quite plush down here. But this is just the head area, because you've got the loo there, you've got the sink there. That's going to have, let me just get out of the way so you guys can see. There's the loo roll holders and all the loo roll storage. Toothbrushes, hot and cold soap. That's all neatly arranged. And then bucket loads of storage in there for extra stuff. And I can see your electric toilet operation and toilet brush just there. But in here is the separate shower. So come around and hopefully you can see this, Mitch, because I'm going to jump in and just give everyone a feel for the space. So this is a decent sized shower. So like you can do the sit down shower thing just here, and for a stand up shower, like I've got more than enough space, plenty of room this way, and you know, at least elbow room that way. So you're not struggling for space. You can put all your shampoos and cleaning or, you know, body cleaning stuff just here. You do have an opening window just here and a place for your soap there, and that's adjustable. And you've even got a blind for some privacy. So that's cool. So let's go to the galley. Before we get there, I noticed access into the bilge is doable and practical all around the boat. So we've got these lift up floor hatches. So that just looks like the holding tank just there. And this one here, access into the bilge pumps and a holding tank out just there. And I think it was even the water tank was aft here. So what that's telling me, they're getting the weight nice down and low in the center line. There you go, fresh water just in there. So that's good for the balance of the boat by putting it down the center line. And also because you can see quite a bit of a distance from this floor to the bottom of the V section, it just tells you that it's a decent shaped hull underneath the waterline. So here we go. Here's the galley, and what's cool about this boat is this is not your primary or your only cooking or preparation destination, because you could do that up top on the barbie, which we saw before. But having a layout like this allows you to prep some platters and do other things and then serve them up like that. So you could just be doing a little bit of barbecuing up there and do all your fancier stuff down here, or if the weather changes, you just do it down here. So what do we have? We've got a fridge, a little bit of a little freezer drawer there, and just a normal marine fridge. That's drawer for your cutlery. Boom, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's a bin in there. This is going to be storage for some pots and pans. They've got this stainless steel finish just here to stop things sliding around, so that's sensible. 1, 2 burners just here. Storage, electrical panel just here, and a little bit of storage and a stereo control just there. I actually like this little touch just here by the owner. That's quite cool with the knives and then the paper towel holder. So light switches, 240. We do have a gen set. We will be going into the engine bay in a tick. 1, 2, 3, 4 steps for the companionway, and let's make our way around. So come around with the camera and go and check out the guest accommodation, which is debatable whether this could be a master. Like, it's pretty nice. So nobody's... Maybe this is the master, because it's full beam. This is gorgeous. Yeah, this is the master. This is the master. Like, having your own lounge here, I know it's optional to have this lounge with a little bit of storage as well, so it doesn't have to be full length like this. You could have a kip on here and still have the bed there and usable if required. But you've got this wonderful window here, another one there. So it's a great spot just to come down and hang out and read a book. You've got storage, downlights, blinds, opening port here, another one just there. Decent size, virtually walk-in wardrobe. That's cool. And then 2 opening drawers underneath each single bed. But come and have a look. Like, you can actually... I'm not going to put my feet up. You can sit up in bed because the design of this goes up here, like on an angle. So with the bed head just here, you can actually sit up. You can operate the lights, and then you've got access to fresh air just here. And then if you undo the lock down there, this bed can slide in and create a double. So yeah, it's debatable which one you're going to use as the master. I know the other one has access to the loo, but this is pretty cool. Let's go check out the engine bay. All right, so here I am in the engine bay. You come down a stainless steel ladder, 3-step, quite a decent amount of insulation between the engine hatch and the engine bay. But starting from starboard, working my way around the transom to port, you got 2 aluminium diesel tanks on this boat. So each tank has got 340 litres capacity on either side. I can see their fuel filters mounted on the back of the tank. Making your way into the starboard corner, you can see the hydraulics for the drives and the steering. Each engine centrally mounted. This is the D6 340s. You can option them to the 380s. Above that, we've got a blower above each engine, just an extractor to keep the fresh or the airflow moving through the engine bay. Looks like we've got the battery box mounted on port, so you're going to have house and crank batteries inside that box. This is a protected box, so I can't see how many there are in total. Got your a master vault, that's probably inverter charger, mounted all the way over on the port side. The generator is centrally mounted down the centre line of the boat. Got a bank of fuses, fireboy system, muffler for the generator, forward of that, and obviously the port fuel tank on the port side. I don't know what's in here, but I believe it's probably a hot water cylinder considering it's insulated. So I'm going to hazard to guess that that's what that is. So yeah, look, all very professionally laid out. Enough room for a mechanic to get around here. Not so much for big blokes, but hopefully that's not your problem. So beach house, batch, or the boat? I guess I'm biased. I'm clearly going to vote for the boat. But if you weren't sure what a 40-foot sports yacht was capable of providing you, hopefully this video has educated you on that. You know, sleeping 4 adults with the possibility to sleep 6 down there, entertaining in multiple zones, and let's face it, having a different waterfront view every single weekend is possible on a boat of this style. It's a pretty easy boat to manage, and it's definitely a boat you could drive, operate, and park yourself. So if you want to see a little bit more about how we park this boat, drive this boat, or similar boats to this, follow the links that are coming up on your screen right now. My name's Dan Jones. This has been Dan's Boat Life. See you on the next one.